Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of For What It's Nerd. We do have another smaller episode this week. Sadly, due to this week being incredibly crazy for me, work has been incredibly difficult, and I don't want to go into all that, but essentially it's been very busy. And on top of that, I ended up spraining my ankle very badly on Thursday. So usually I record Friday, Saturday. That didn't happen because I was dealing with said sprain. And so I haven't really had the chance to kind of prepare something worthwhile of like a full length discussion, which is sad, admittedly, but you know, it happens, and I'm kind of going with the flow of that, and that's why we're kind of getting a kind of short, very quick episode today, because I wanted to discuss some stuff with you guys all the same. So yes, my week wasn't the best, I'll admit. The foot really hurts, it's really bruised. I'd show you guys, but then my feet would be on the internet, and that's a whole other thing. So yeah, really bad. It's not nice, it's very bruised. It's better now in terms of the pain. The pain is kind of receded, but it is kind of tender to walk on still. So you know, that was very fun, all fun and games, and yeah, brilliant, great part of my week. But there is actually some very fun stuff that has happened this week. For one, I actually got my Steam Deck. So I have been wanting a Steam Deck pretty much since they were first announced, and I actually ended up, because I had to wait so long, I was kind of one of the later groups to go for one. I decided to get a laptop instead, and a gaming laptop, and so I was playing with that for a bit, and then I was allowed to get my purchase my Steam Deck, and I was kind of like, oh gosh. So I ended up stupidly getting a Steam Deck on top of already the gaming laptop I had, which to be fair, I am using both, so it's not like it's a waste, but I do now have a Steam Deck, and I'm very excited about it. I've been using it a lot, but I haven't been using it on new games as yet. I'm playing predominantly Multiversus, which again is actually new, but it's not very demanding on the system, so it's not like something that I'm kind of seeing the full benefits of the Steam Deck from, if that makes sense. Maybe it is in the background, but it doesn't seem to be on the screen itself. Then I'm playing some Skyrim. I've never actually finished Skyrim, and I know a lot of people will be shocked and horrified by that. But deal with it. And then I actually picked up Stardew Valley, because I wanted to play Stardew for a while, and I think that's a perfect game to be playing on the Steam Deck, just nice and chill, nice and quiet. You can relax in bed or on the couch or wherever and play some Stardew. So that's really fun. I am wanting to try and incorporate it into stream somehow. I don't know how it works in terms of using that on a capture card, etc. I haven't looked into that, but I assume there's ways. And if not, I think you can stream it to Steam. Steam and Stream, by the way, let's talk about that. Why did they decide to have... I understand that they have to have Steam in the name, but Steam Deck is the same as Elgato's Stream Deck, almost. And that is getting confusing. A lot of people are thinking that you're missing out the R, or you've put in an R by mistake. Like, that is very confusing brand-wise. I wish that Steam had went with something like, it sounds stupid, but Steam Play It, or Steam... I don't know, just something Steam something else, not a deck. I get that a deck is a very good suggestion of what it is, but it's very hard to convey what you're actually talking about to people, especially in like a chat room on like Twitch or something like that. But anyway, really enjoying the Steam Deck. See, I'm nearly getting it confused myself. Really enjoying the Steam Deck. I'm using it pretty much constantly. I'm even watching shows on that now because it's easier than holding a laptop on my like lap. So yeah, very much excited. I love how it works, how they have a specific section in the library for like Great on Deck. That's great. The other thing, which actually, funnily enough, I did end up watching on my Steam Deck, see, it is hard. It is so hard. Is She-Hulk. She-Hulk's first episode dropped this week. Now, I was intending to hopefully kind of do a full episode on She-Hulk and kind of do some trivia and kind of, have a kind of fun kind of She-Hulk themed celebratory episode, but sadly that didn't come to pass. But I did watch She-Hulk. I think it is great. I think it's probably the strongest opening episode of one of the MCU shows yet. I think that is primarily because it has one of the big six in it from the original Avengers. I think Hulk being in this first episode of She-Hulk really helps sell it. Like, you know, WandaVision had two of the Avengers in it, but they were always side characters up to this point, whereas Hulk, I think, being in this to start, really just sell it as a continuation of the storylines we've had before. WandaVision did that, but not to the same degree, because it felt like a very much a shift, because the story wasn't explained fully until like episode 4 or 5. So you had this kind of weird shift to start with. So I would say She-Hulk is definitely the strongest starter of the MCU shows thus far. But I think it's better overall, kind of where it's going as well. I know this sounds very naive to say on episode 1, but I think She-Hulk has a lot of interesting ideas that we're not seeing in the MCU at the moment. I think, you know, She-Hulk is Deadpool-esque. I mean, you know, I've talked about this before, where She-Hulk became before Deadpool, but She-Hulk is Deadpool-esque in terms of the movies, right? And I think that comedy and that ability to play around and have fun with that, and on top of that, the ability to kind of expand on what WandaVision kind of did with the fourth wall breaking and stuff like that, is working brilliantly, and I like it. And it's more comic friendly. It's more like what comics are. Comics are stupid and fun and exciting and wacky, and that is what She-Hulk is to its core. There are a lot of people who are detracting from that, saying, you know, there's a lot of bad messages in the show, like feminist wise and stuff. I disagree, but you know, I don't have time to go into that in this small snippet of discussion. But I disagree fundamentally with that. I also think that this show really is about pushing forward Hulk's story as well. Some people think that this is detracting from Hulk. I think it's adding to Hulk. Hulk, as yet, has been incredibly sidelined in the MCU, right? And some would argue that this episode kind of does that again. But frankly, we had more development of Bruce and Hulk in this episode, and what he has dealt with and what he feels and how he's angry about things and frustrated about things and his past, than we've had him pretty much all of the rest of the MCU combined. I think this is the path towards having a Hulk character that is more in line and more respective of the comic counterpart. So I think this is actually the opposite of what a lot of people think. I think this isn't detracting from Hulk, it's adding to Hulk in perhaps the best way you possibly can, by also elevating She-Hulk to a standard where people get to see such an amazing character as She-Hulk. I am a big She-Hulk fan, as you can probably guess. But yeah, so I think this week has been really fun in terms of She-Hulk and my Steam Deck, despite the fact that I've had a lot of stresses otherwise. I am trying as much as I can to kind of minimize that effect on, you know, Peralta's Place, but also on For What It's Nerd. But I am also dealing with a lot of other stuff right now, and it's back and forth. So what I'm trying to say is, if you see content slipping or sliding or moving to different dates for a little bit, don't be surprised. It's not intentional. It's just there's a lot going on. But I am trying to keep it the same, and you know, I am trying to put something out at the same time, even if it is smaller / you know, less substantial, so to speak. Other than that, I'm you know, I'm moving forward. I think we're going to try and, like I say, add some more kind of segments. Also, I'm kind of thinking of, like, over time, especially with the For What It's Nerd YouTube channel, having kind of small, like, tidbits and kind of like trivia things, or like discussion videos on other things, you know, like a big discussion piece on, I don't know, Daredevil, or I don't know, you know, the Death Star and the implied cost of the Death Star, you know, stupid stuff, kind of stupid nerd, like, let's discuss this things, right? You know, and I don't know how that'll work, and I don't know when that'll work, and you know, I'm basically expecting to, you know, have 3 extra days in the week to get all this done, as per usual with myself. But you know, it's something I want to do, is basically what I'm saying, and I'm manifesting it right now, so that maybe one day I will get around to it. But yeah, I think it's funny, because when we were here last week, I was discussing, would I bring people on? I think that's how I would bring people on if I did bring people on to For What It's Nerd. I think I'd want them to kind of have their own segments on the show, or their own things that they covered. I think that would be a great way of, like, it's kind of, I don't want to sound like I'm saying, you know, the direct rip-off of, because I would want them to be different, but like Nerdist and Geek and Sundry did that a lot back, like, you know, a while ago. Not so much these days. I don't think. Again, I don't follow them so much anymore. But they used to have a lot of bits and like a lot of like little shows and stuff, and like they would have the one that I always used to like from Geek and Sundry was Will oh, I forget his surname now. Well, oh no, he's the guy who plays Wesley Crusher in Star Trek Next Generation. Oh no, Will Ferrell's the only one that's coming to mind, and I know that's entirely wrong. Will, no, it's gone. But anyway, he would play tabletop games with everyone. Like that would be his thing, and then you'd have oh, I forget, but you know what I mean, like these kind of nerd segments. And I'm not to say that For What Is Nerd could ever get to the size of something like Geek and Sundry or Nerdist, but it would be kind of cool to kind of begin building a brand around For What It's Nerd eventually one day, because I think it could be really fun. I think it could be really fun to have like this be collaborative eventually. Obviously, I would want to make sure that those people who are coming on are the right kind of people for the job, but I think it could be fun to have a kind of collaborative medium in For What It's Nerd, aside from the podcast. So we'll see. That's kind of just random ramblings at this point, but yeah. So I hope you guys are having a good week or have had a good week, depending on when you're seeing this. But in the meantime, enjoy She-Hulk. Enjoy whatever you guys are doing, and we will be back next week, hopefully with a full episode. If not, we might be doing another small one, but you guys will know, and you guys you'll obviously see as the week goes on. Thanks, guys, as always, and have a good rest of your week.